Greetings, fair viewer, and welcome. Has there ever been a point in your life where you have failed, or completely felt like giving up? If so, have you ever heard of a little game called Five Nights at Freddy's? I know that may seem irrelevant, but that isn't the case. Once we take a look at the story behind FNAF, you'll begin to understand. And I don't mean the convoluted lore present within the games. I am referring to the story behind the story. Cawthon is the man behind Freddy Fazbear, not the man behind the slaughter. Scott had developed many small games over the years 2000 to 2013, many of which had Christian themes. The amount of games Scott Cawthon created over his career would be 80 games total. Subtracting FNAF's 11 games, including spin-offs, from the equation would turn this number into 65 games total. Though most of Scott's games wouldn't perform well enough and would later become delisted, turning them into lost media. Because of the poor performance of his indie Christian games, they would not generate enough income as a result. Later in an interview, Scott stated, "I felt like I'd squandered so many years of my life. And when you had to support a wife and kids, you had to find a way to support them somehow." So what Scott did was he would bounce between retail jobs at Target, Dollar General, and computer programming work in order to make ends meet. Any spare money that Scott made from his work went to personal projects. But instead of developing Christian games, Scott would move on to developing free-to-play mobile apps and cheap computer titles. In turn, Scott would make an extra $40 to $50 per month in download fees and ad revenue. Which really wasn't that much, but it was still something. One of Scott's games, Chipper and Sons Lumber Company, was rather poorly received due to the character models being quite creepy to players. Some players stated that the characters resembled creepy animal animatronics. This greatly upset Scott, and he almost would have given up on game development entirely. However, Scott decided to give game development one last chance. He took inspiration from the creepiness of Chipper and Sons, and created a little game you may know, called Five Nights at Freddy's. FNAF of course took off and ended up becoming extremely popular because of Let's Play YouTubers and influencers playing the game and posting their videos, successfully spreading FNAF all across the internet and inspiring others to create similar games like FNAF. One of the reasons for FNAF's incredible success was the game's tone and overall eerie atmosphere. The mysteries and horrors of the pizzeria were one of the biggest reasons why people were so drawn to FNAF. In addition, FNAF had a very different type of playing experience in comparison to other horror games of the time. Unlike in most horror games, in FNAF you must face the danger head-on, watching, waiting, and learning as you survive each night in the office. If you run out of power, there's nothing you can do but wait and hope the night will end soon, as the animatronics lurk within the shadows, waiting to strike.
Instantaneously! Please! Please! Oh my God! Oh, I did it! I did it! Oh God! Yes!
Who knew that Scott's last-ditch attempt to make a successful game would end up impacting the lives of so many in such incredible ways? Perhaps we should ask a few people just how exactly Five Nights at Freddy's has impacted them throughout their own life.
Greetings, my good sir. I'm Frederick Fazbungle from Fazbear News. How are you doing today, my mighty good fellow?
Oh, hello, dear viewers.
I have some questions here. Would you mind answering them?
Sure.
Okay. So, when did you first hear of Five Nights at Freddy's?
First of all, little memories. My bookmark in 2016.
I see. Very, very interesting.
I ate
Oh, but I don't think we should eat video games.
it. What started me going?
Who is your favorite Five Nights at Freddy's character?
Golden idiot.
Who is this golden idiot you speak of?
Golden Freddy.
I see.
I ate it.
Oh, this is getting very disturbing. Okay. How has Five Nights at Freddy's impacted you?
Yes.
I see. Very interesting. Love the answer, BT Dubs. Yeah, yes, I know who's them.
Thank you for your comment.
Have you ever had a project or goal that you struggled with?
Sort of. That's right out loud.
Oh, this is getting very dark. I'm kind of scared now. Okay, moving on. Have you learned from your failures and mistakes?
No.
Oh. Oh dear.
Close your beak.
Okay, then, thank you, strange couch creature. Salutations. Greetings. I am Frederick Fazbungle from wait, what was the name again? I think it was Fazbear News. It's almost like that's the whole company. Anyway. When did you first hear of FNAF?
When you were a little boy.
Oh, wow.
I think when the first game came out.
2014?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Really long time ago. I'm old.
Indeed. Who is your favorite FNAF character?
Nightmare Bunny.
Good one, I like that. Wait, no, I was thinking of a good one, but that he was good. Pretty cool. Very spiky.
Little Bunny.
How has FNAF impacted you?
Because I got my dumb brothers into it, and that's all they do. Three little minions running around pretending to be FNAF characters.
Alright. Have you ever had a project or goal that you struggled with?
Yeah. You need a specific example?
If you want to.
So, in freshman year of high school, I had to look into my background. And so, I was adopted at birth. I am half Chinese and half Puerto Rican, and I only know half of my family. Because I know my birth mom, but I do not know my birth dad. So I had to look into my Puerto Rican heritage on my own. And it was a bit hard because I don't have any first-hand influences.
I see. Very interesting.
Dog, get down.
Have you learned from your failures and mistakes you've experienced in the past?
Yeah. A lot. They've all led me to be much more compassionate
I see.
and spend more time with people.
That's good. Thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate it very much.
Of course.
Greetings, Mr. Fazbear. I am Frederick Fazbungle from Fazbear News. Could I bother you? I don't mean to bother you. I just would like to politely ask you some questions. I'm sorry, I'm just a little nervous. You're so amazing and famous, and I look up to you because you're like Freddy Vampire. Is it okay if I ask you some questions on behalf of Fazbear News, sir? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so when did you first hear of FNAF? I see. Who is your favorite FNAF character? That's a very good option. One of my favorites too. How has FNAF impacted you? That's a beautiful story, sir. Have you ever had a project or goal that you struggled with? Oh my goodness, I had no idea, sir. That must have been very hard to go along with. Okay, final question, Mr. Fazbear. Have you learned from your failures and mistakes? Very, very wise words, sir. I appreciate it. Have a good night, Mr. Fazbear. Farewell.
Thank you, Frederick. I believe these new points of views and stories were all very helpful in understanding the impact of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's so crazy to think that FNAF 1 could have been Scott's last game, but it turned out to be first in a long line of games that would skyrocket him to success. In total, there are 11 main FNAF games along with plenty of fun and silly spin-offs. The original 4, Sister Location, Pizzeria Simulator, and Ultimate Custom Night, were all developed by Scott Games, along with the plethora of spin-offs. Eventually, with the release of FNAF Help Wanted in 2019, Scott Games was no longer the main developer for FNAF. The games are currently being developed by Steel Wool Studios. You may be asking, well, if Scott isn't the main developer of Five Nights at Freddy's, where is he now? After some controversy, Scott decided it was best for himself to retire early and focus on spending time with his family. Scott is still involved with FNAF. He directs the games, writes some of the FNAF novels, and Scott was even the producer and co-writer for the final version of the FNAF movie. In Matt Pat's final video as host of the popular YouTube channel, Game Theory, Scott made his first live appearance in that same video. It was truly a legendary moment. With the second FNAF movie on the horizon, and much more in store, I can't help but wonder what amazing things Scott, Steel Wool, and everyone involved with developing FNAF will do next. It is very amazing to hear how FNAF initially started out as nothing but a last-ditch effort for Scott's Games to continue forward, but became something so much more. This just goes to show how if you keep on trying, keep on moving forward, keep on reaching towards your goals every day, you will someday achieve it. Why do we never give up and fight back against our failures and mistakes? We never give up because of our determination. We are determined to influence the world in a positive way. We form bonds, inspire others, create safe places for others, aid those in need, all throughout our adventure and as a result of our goal. Never give up, my friends. Always stay determined, and never lose sight of your hopes and your dreams.